In 1959, in the quiet hills of Knoxville, Tennessee, lived a mother with a child the world had already given up on. Her son was born with 26 incurable conditions. No eyes. No feet. No male organs. Mute. Deaf. Twisted limbs. His tongue hung from his mouth. His brain was damaged. Doctors said he wouldn't live to see his first birthday. But nearly 4 years later, he was still alive, helpless, but alive. A miracle in itself. And his mother was holding on to a single thread of hope. That somewhere, God still moved in power. That hope led her to Birmingham, Alabama, where a traveling healing revival was shaking the city. The preacher? A man named A.A. Allen. Known across America as God's man of faith and power, Allen's tent meetings drew thousands. Miracles. Deliverance. Healing. People claimed the blind could see, the deaf could hear, and the lame walked again. And she believed, maybe, just maybe, her son would be next. She packed her things, laid her son in a bassinet, and with another woman for help, drove across state lines in an old Ford. For 3 days, she attended every service. She paid for meals, stayed in a cheap motel, and gave in every offering. Waiting, praying. But her child was never called. Her money was almost gone. Only $20 remained, just enough for one more night in the hotel. She was ready to give up and go home. But that night, something unexpected happened. A.A. Allen stepped onto the platform and declared, "Tonight, I'm receiving an offering of faith." The moment he said it, the woman moved. She ran to the front, pulled out her last $20 bill, and dropped it into the offering plate. It was all she had. And in that moment, heaven began to move. About 15 minutes into his sermon, Allen suddenly stopped. He looked out into the crowd, his face intense. And then he spoke, "I'm being carried away in the spirit. I see a large white building, it's a hospital. I hear babies crying. I see 5 doctors, they've delivered a child, with 12, 16, no, 26 diseases." The crowd went silent. The doctors said he wouldn't live to see 1 year. But he's almost 4. Now I see the mother, she's packing a suitcase. There's another woman with her. The child is in a bassinet in the back seat of a Ford. They are crossing the Tennessee-Alabama border, they are here. I see this tent. And then Allen pointed and shouted, "Lady, you're here tonight. Bring me that baby. God is going to give you 26 miracles." The woman screamed. He had described her entire life. Her journey. Her baby. Her last hope. She ran to the stage, trembling. Allen took the deformed, limp child in his arms and began to pray. Then, it happened. First, the tongue retracted inside the boy's mouth. He began to swallow. Then, eyes formed in his empty sockets. First white, then color, then pupils. His ears opened. He turned his head. Arms and legs uncurled. Hands stretched into fingers. Feet grew at the ends of his legs. Even his male organs were created. His spine straightened. And then, he stood. He walked. And finally, he ran. Straight into his mother's arms, shouting, "Mama, Mama." The crowd exploded. People cried. Screamed. Fell to their knees. 26 miracles, in a matter of minutes. A broken child, completely rebuilt by God. That mother walked into the tent empty. And walked out with everything she ever prayed for. People began blessing her, giving her food, money, clothes. She left not only with a miracle, but with a testimony the world could never deny. Evangelist A.A. Schambach, who stood next to Allen that night, later said, "I've seen blind eyes opened. I've seen the dead raised. But I have never, ever, seen a miracle like what I saw that night." Friend, maybe you're in your lowest place right now. Maybe you feel like you're down to your last $20. Your last prayer. Your last hope. Don't give up. The God who rebuilt that little boy still rebuilds today. Trust God today and sow a seed of faith. The same God who moved in miracles yesterday still moves today. For more inspiring, faith-lifting stories of God's power among men, subscribe, like, and share this video so others can believe too. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss the next powerful testimony of what God is doing.